Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Traders Lab. I'm your host, Tom B. Can I please get a screen and audio check in YouTube? Thank you. How are we doing in YouTube this morning? And everyone, welcome to the Traders Lab. Okay, are you guys seeing me in YouTube okay? And how's the audio in YouTube? Can someone post something in the chat there? I don't know if the chat's working. Yeah, is anybody posting there? Stephen, can you post something in the chat? That doesn't look like the chat's working on my end. Okay, I'm gonna try refreshing YouTube on my end. Did Stephen, did you post something in there? I just need to be sure before I do that. Okay, thanks. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. All right, got the chat now. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Traders Lab. I'm your host, Tom B. Thanks for visiting today. I stream live Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 1 p.m. Standard Time, and this stream's about integrating Bookmap order flow tools with auction market theory using a volume profile as a chassis in the intraday developing time frame. This stream is based on structured trades. They're available to everyone in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, as well as the Trader Lab community itself, which is a group of like-minded traders that have come together to leverage their collective experience. You might want to think of the Trader Lab as a virtual trade desk where traders do leverage their collective experience. You bring what you do and then see how all these pieces might integrate or fit together, and then see if you can actually derive a statistical edge. The business of trading is not really a video game. It's really more about interacting with the other participants when you have an edge. It's no different than how casinos operate. They only interact with the gamblers and play games where the house has the edge. And over time, even though gamblers get paid, and every business has costs of production and overhead, because the casinos only play games that have an edge and they play them exactly the same way, over time they extract the dollars from the gamblers, even though they don't know the outcome of the next hand or anything else. So we're really in the same business. So if we can take a business that's proven, which is gaming, and then apply it to trading, maybe instead of trying to, quote, reinvent the wheel, we can actually potentially get on a track that's already proven. And that's what the Trader Lab is based on. And you're all welcome to Trader Lab. There's no cost to participate. And I think you'll find it a community unlike almost anything else that you've ever done. So let's take care of business and let's move along. We got a lot to talk about today. Grab a pen and a piece of paper, by the way. There's going to be some things you might want to take note of so you can maximize your time with the Trader Lab today. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice or recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please remember, this is not a trade calling room. If we get into real time, we talk. The other part of this is based on structured trades that are available to all of you. There's 60 PDFs you can and downloaded these trades, as well as a library of webinars and what you're going to be seeing here. What I typically do is go over how the market's set up so you can understand how you get in alignment with it, and structured trades that you can vet and then make your own. There is not a right or wrong way to trade. But I can suggest this to you. If you cannot measure it, then you're just making it up. That's great for a video game. It is not sustainable, in my opinion, in this business. The business of trading is gaming. Casinos do not make the games up. They don't get bored. They don't change what they do when they deal the next hand from what they did on the last hand. They use something called anchored inputs. Traders who are making it up are just playing a game, and that's fine. But I always think if you're going to do that, then play the game, go to the casino, get the cocktails, and be sure to get the ticket to the buffet. It'll probably be more rewarding. Now, I'm going to show you a higher time frame chart. But before I do, I have to mention a couple of things to you. This is the final week to save 50% on the MBO bundle. The MBO bundle, MBO is market by order, and it comes from the data providers because orders are tagged. A stop is not the same as a market order or a limit, etc. So, or an iceberg. So when it's market by order data, we can then see icebergs, where the stops are. We can get a lot more insight where the limits are. So we can see a lot of things. And we also can see absorption, sweeps. There's so much more in the order flow. That's 50% off the first month, and that's going to be ending very soon, December 31st. So if you haven't thought about that one, you might want to do it. Now, this one just surfaced here, this one, and I think we're running out of opportunities for you guys to save dollars. And you can save 30% on Bookmap Global Plus annually. That is a substantial discount. And so annual subscription for the top tier Global Plus. You can go to bookmap.com, click deals, and you'll see these there. It explains everything. And even if you took advantage of something previously in the Black Friday opportunities and that, take a look at what's there. All that can be rolled into this, so you don't, you haven't lost out. In fact, you've gained. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. In my opinion, when I started with Bookmap, none of this existed. And if it did, I certainly would have taken advantage of it, but it didn't exist. So you guys have an opportunity I didn't have, and I certainly, as you guys know, order flow is an integral part of what we do here. And the reason we use order flow is because it's about edge. Anything that can give us insight, that gives us more timely execution, better risk management, really, assuming you take the time to learn how to use it, like any high tier tool, can more than pay for itself. And again, every individual trader's outcome is different because it's up to the individual trader to educate themselves. And Bookmap provides extensive ongoing education, plus a huge library of educational videos on all the different aspects of the tool, plus what you see here every day. So that's that. I want to make sure you guys are aware of it. This goes until January 2nd, and the MBO bundle, 50% off the first month, goes to December 31st. So there you go. Okay? So take advantage of that if you've been thinking about it. I think this is where you might want to be taking advantage of it. As my mother used to say, sales are good. Now, higher time frame. By the way, if you have questions, please post them in YouTube or the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab. I'll do my best to get back to you. And if I don't get to your question, by all means, there's a link in the bottom of YouTube. You can come to the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, as well as the other communities in there, the other streamers, the other education. There is no cost. And if you have a question and I don't get to answer it, you can come to Bookmap Discord Trader Lab. Use the link in the bottom of YouTube. Post your question there. Say hi. I'd like to meet you there. This is a higher time frame chart of the ES. Now, I'm going to give you just a quick explanation of what you're looking at. This is volume profile. And I know you think you landed on Mars. When I first saw these, I So foreign. But let me explain. Now, this is yesterday's market, does not include today. And this is the day before Christmas. It was a half day, but I decided to leave it in. And the reason is because we had this up move, we tested, there's a wick down here, we gapped higher, and we ran day before Christmas, the Santa Claus thing going on. And then yesterday we opened, we took out the half day high from Christmas, and this was my resistance, 6109.75. Now, you might want to just write a couple of these numbers down. You'll find this kind of interesting, perhaps. Now, I'm going to start going down in time frame. Now, when I talk time frames, day trading is really not time frame oriented in of itself, but the structures are created where time is involved, then we are using time frame. This black line out here is the ultimate higher time frame. It represents all the volume that's ever traded up here for the life of the ES. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at consolidations. And sometimes they're going to match up with the shorter time frame, which is the individual daily RTH candles, or not. So but this is all the volume. So what you're seeing over here includes what was over here. So, and the volume like this, and I'm not going to spend much time, you can learn about this in Trader Lab. This is a consolidation. So you have low volume outside edge up there, and just think of it as, oh, that's too high. Remember, this is shopping. I'm not paying that. Oh, but it's on sale over here. And then the green lines are the retail price or high volume. Trading is shopping. So if you're a shopper, you're already a trader. It's just that in the store, it's not moving like it moves here. Same though. So too low, too high, retail. And if we reject the price, then we can come under the low volume area and start a new one of these. Too high, too low, too high, too low, retail. Well, yesterday, 6,100 was the retail price. 6,100. Thursday, 60.79 was the retail price. We tested it, we took out this high, and then we closed inside. Now follow with 60.50.75 was the outside edge. Now I'm in multiple time frames here, so just try to stay with. This is too high, this is support, low volume. What's below here? 60.32.75 or 36. Next target, retail. So outside edge, too high, retail. If we leave it, too high. We already tested this one, no problem. What's below us? 60.50. What else is below us? Sell stops, sell stops. What's down here? 60.36. If I get under 60.36, what's below here? 60.18. If I get down below 60.18, what's down here? 60 even. If I get under 60 even, what's over here? Low volume node. It's on sale. It's too high. Retail. So 60.18, 59.85, and these are just higher time frame levels. Now let's move on. Just trying to get you the lay of the land. Now, in the Trader Lab, the idea of Trader Lab is that you learn how the market works, why it does what it does, and how to get in alignment. Now, the levels I just shared with you are now transposed over here, and they're called higher time frame levels, right? Now, let's go a little further. Let's take a look. And this is what the Trader Lab is about. It's understanding what's going on here, and then potentially get in alignment with it. Let's go back here. ETH high, settlement, and naked volume point of control. What was at 6,100, you're asking me? I'm asking myself what was at 6,100. Retail price, 6,100. Highest volume price, 60.98, high volume. In the ETH, if I come up to a high volume area, which is where the buyers and sellers did a ton of business, and think of it like shopping in your store. You come back to the store, and there's the retail price. And while you might have been willing to pay it yesterday, you come back, but you say, this is just too high. And then what do? Either you pay it or you leave the store and shop elsewhere. So what do you think happened this morning? Or in the ETH, I should say. We came up to our retail price, our settlement. We checked it in the ETH. It is too high, and we left it. Now we have yesterday's RTH low. We open beneath it. So we're opening lower outside of yesterday's range. All this is material. And we're opening right over the ETH low. What does that suggest? Does that say you ought to be a buyer, or does it say maybe we ought to think about being a seller? What do you guys think? So let's go take a look. So now, knowing that what we know is potentially yesterday's highest volume or retail price is too high. We know we're opening under yesterday's low. Might we say that we are rejecting all of yesterday's trade? And this is all Trader Lab. This is all before you even put your first trade on. And what else do we know here? Sell stops here, sell stops here. Do you want to get long? As Dirty Harry said, well, do you feel lucky? Well, do you? Do you want to join these buyers with sell stops here, knowing 36 is the price that was too low, but knowing that 6,100 is the price that now is too high? Which way would you want to orient your trading? Do you know the answer before the open? In your Trader Lab, you'd have a pretty darn good idea if you have a vetted trade plan. Now let's get back here. So many pieces, so little time. Okay, this is very important. The reason this isn't a trade calling room is that's a waste of your time. What this is an educational portal into building the business of trading. That's what this is. And the Trader Lab is a community that is focused on the business of trading, establishing a career path if that's something you have an interest in. And it doesn't mean you'll be successful. Absolutely not. Because this is going to take you places you've never been before as far as yourself. Finding out who you really are and understanding that this is unlike anything you've ever done before psychologically, and the emotional triggers. The way to get your arms around the problems of trading is statistics. That's how you can gain control over your emotional state. So, RTH open, 8:30 Central Time. By the way, I'm in Costa Rica. If I drop out and you're in YouTube, another link will pop up. It might take up to 5 minutes, so don't go away. Same thing in Discord. I will return. I think MacArthur said that in the Philippines, but I will return. By the way, if you here in Costa Rica, you hear a loudspeaker in the background, it's because the rodeo is coming. Now, the rodeo, they ride bulls here. And the thing is, in Costa Rica, just so you know, they don't have rodeo clowns. So different people volunteer. That's something in and of itself. So let's take a look here. So this right here is a sweep, and this suggests an upside rotation. This is called a variable high volume node, and I'm going to label it. When I first started doing this, none of this existed, so I just sort of made it up. So this is called a variable high volume node, and it literally is variable in its high volume. It seemed logical to me to call it that because this is the open. So I have chop chop. This is a micro consolidation structure. This is the retail price. Now I'm taking you down in fractals, or as you guys think, time frames. And I'm going to be marking these so you can see them. Now, this is a consolidation. You've got passive sellers here, who knows, and you've got passive buyers here. That's what creates a consolidation. Chop, chop. Buyers are right here. You can see the delta. Now, the fact there's a green bubble, it's very important you understand what delta is. It's aggressors. And aggressors are made up of stops that become market orders, so that's your delta, and also initiators. What's the mix? Good luck with that. Except if we don't keep going, what does that tell us? It tells us there's shorts in here, buy stops. And why did it go down here? Because there's passive side. Remember, there's a limit order book too. And now the sellers take control. So now this price is too high. Now, the other thing I have to be aware of here, I hope this is accurate. I'm just looking here. This might be off a little bit, guys. So I can't say, this says it's the open, so it might be off 1/10 of a second or something. I can't say. Yeah, there my data dropped there. So there's a little weird here with the data. You'll see there's a couple holes in it. So it might be off a little bit. So this is a sell sweep that often, I don't want to say, I'm going to use the word typically, but there is nothing typical in trading. Often this suggests a counter rotation. So let's see what happens. And it might only be this. See, this is one of the joys. Here's a variable high volume node. What is this? Potentially too low. One second, I got to adjust something here. Okay, so too high, too low. So this suggests up. Let's just see what it does. This is order flow. Now, in the Trader Lab and in the Bookmap Discord server, you would learn this. Whoa. I don't know if you heard all that, but there's a huge semi going by and he was doing what they call engine braking. If you're not familiar with that, it's lovely. So too low, too high. So what do we know right here? Again, I'm in the micro here. Opening swing high, there's going to be this leg. These sellers are going to have buy stops up here. So this is a high risk endeavor if you took a short here. Resistance is here. Support is here. There's your sweep. And notice the liquidity comes into the book. This sets up a rotation up, and then you got to see what's going to happen here. So let's look. Notice how we come right back to the variable high volume node right there, because that was resistance. Now, when I see this, I anticipate, well, a couple of things. Keep going. I know you're going to say, well, this is brilliant, or a reaction off it. And then what next? Either this becomes too high and we take this out and continue south of the border, or we're going to come back, not take this sweep out, and then squeeze out. And here's why. Let's talk about the reasons why. I'm in minutia again, but I want you to understand thinking. Thought. Buy stops are here. Sell stops are here. Too high, too low. Sellers are here. Buy stops are here. Buy stops are here. Sell stops are here. Let's just watch. We come down. Stops are here. Remember, there was a sweep. The buyers are here. The stops are here. We take out the stops. Now, when I see this, I'm now thinking shorts, but I don't have a location. Let's just see where a location might be. What was this? Too low. Too low. Stops, opening swing high. Microstructure. Break low. I'm now below this level. Break. Now, this sets up a couple of things. This is not a structured trade in Trader Lab for developing traders. This is an advanced process. So I'm only going to leave it at that, but I am going to talk to you about structured trades. That's where I like the focus. I believe anybody can learn to trade if they come to Trader Lab. I'm not saying anybody will be able to trade because that's another separate issue. So let's look here. So what do we know here? We know there are sellers here, the buyers are here, and the sellers are below these buyers. So that's potentially too high. So let's look. What do I know here? Variable high volume node. If I get below it, it is a potential short. Advanced, not structured trader lab, different. Outside edges here. So there is no trade here unless you have a advanced understanding. Let's look at this. So we come back out, we check this, and this also sets up a structure. Again, no structured trade. Let's watch. Because who knows? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Now here, I break low. I now have the mid and the VWAP. This sets up a potential trade here. I'm also below the VPOC. So this is a potential short. So what do I know? Right here, I have my IB. I should say the opening swing high now. This is the current opening swing high. I come down, and right here, I have no idea whether we're coming or going because it's two-sided trade. When I break below this and this is the developing volume point of control, then it's possible I can rotate out here or whatever, but I'm looking for a short. So this for me sets up a potential, and here's the trigger. Let me just show you right here. So this I can't do anything with. Too fast, clueless. Break low. I'm now below the VWAP in the mid. I have my buyers here. I have my VWAP here. I have my buyers here. I have my micro high volume in here, and there's my trigger. Now my resistance is there and there, right? There, right in that volume. Right there. So there's a trigger. We broke below. These guys are under the bus, these buyers. There's your VWAP, there's your mid. So let's just see what happens here. So you have a short and you have your variable high volume node. So let's just watch. Down here. Now, right here, we had absorption, we got a retracement, and we broke low. Now we have a buy sweep. So we want to be aware of what happens next. Let's just keep an eye on how this thing is working here. So for me, I haven't had any longs today. So right here is the developing volume point of control. We have a buy sweep here. We have a sell sweep here. This sets up a potential for a counter rotation and for a continuation trade. So for me, it's only shorts. This right here. So this is your variable high volume node. These are all Trader Lab structured trades. So right here is a short. We have a sweep. This sets up a short. These are all structured trades. I'm combining order flow. So shorts, right here, variable high volume node. Let me mark it for you. I'm actually just going to put a line in here. It's easier for me. Break low, short here. Short here, short there, short here. All of this is short. And again, no longs for me. Doesn't mean there aren't longs for you. Back to the mid. What do we see here? Look at the sweep. Buy sweep. What do I think about when I see buy sweeps? Maybe a reversal. So what do I have? A large buy sweep into the mid with my VPOC and my VWAP above me. This sets up another short. Let's look at it. All Trader Lab structured trades, Now, the thing about Trader Lab, of course, by the way, what's this? Let's look at this. Sweep, reversal. Sweep, reversal. Are you guys tracking? Hey, Jim. Yeah, James, tutorial videos, there's a stable of videos in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, as well as 60 PDFs of these trades you can download and reverse engineer. There isn't one way to trade, which is, kind of interesting because, and I can't even say there's a right way to trade, but I do know what works for traders in this business, and that is statistical probabilities. So no matter what trade you decide to reverse engineer, you start with one. And it's really not about predicting, because we don't have that ability to predict anything. But we can anticipate behavior. We can anticipate where it might show up. And we can use order flow if we have a tool, like Bookmap, to actually anticipate behavior. That's what this is all about. When I have a location in alignment with the context, which I went over at the top of the stream, if any of you missed it, is why it's shorts only. Now, we did have a lively conversation, if you will, in the Trader Lab, and I'm very active in there, as well are all the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab participants, on where would you take longs today. And if somebody has an edge to take a long, by all means, they should, because they're trading their plan. But I find that old saying that we used to, from the days on the floor and everything else, before electronic trading and all this, it was the trend is your friend. So if the rotations are larger to the downside, and we know there's stops under yesterday's low and the low from the half day, and maybe even lower, if we get all the way down to 59.60, which also has potential, not a recommendation, because it's an extended target, why would we get long? Generally speaking, in this condition, that's something called context. And it's one of the harder things for traders to understand, because many traders become myopic and just trade, quote, setups. Well, there's another piece to this that supersedes everything, and that's called the condition of the market and something called context. This is, by the way, another short here, if it's in your trade plan. So everything is short. Let's just look. Now, where's support, you're going to ask me? Let me show you. It's there. Let's look at it. Why is this support? Chop, chop, chop. What is this? Consolidation. Sellers are here, buyers are here, the volume is here, and I break high. I come back up here where I had my last short, which was the mid. What's at the VWAP in the mid? Stops. If I come up here and I see, look at this, exhaustion. What is this? Buy stops. Whoa. 43. But what's this? Higher price, less buy stops. This is I don't use indicators. The only thing I use from indicator world is divergence. So for me, if I see stop divergence with a higher price and I don't see more aggressors up here, and I do see the delta here, well, why am I not going higher, you're asking? It's because there's a passive side, and look at the selling iceberg. That's a limit order. So selling iceberg, exhaustion, break low. Microstructure, let me show you. Now, I'm trading in multiple time frames, and I don't use the clock, so they're fractals. How long does it take for the participants in any, quote, chunk of time, which is not fixed, to determine I'm not paying that, and they leave the store? Then we come back to check the price. Is this really too high? And then we get in a car and we leave. That's an entry, if that's your trade. And then where are we going? South of the border. Support was here. If I get short there, I'm going to be scaling ahead of this. If I get short here, I'm going to be scaling ahead of this. Why, you're asking me? Because it was too low and I had my buyers, which are down there, and the volume is here. Absorption was there. I know my buyers are here. I know my sellers are here. So I can sell this, scale here. If it comes up here, There's my volume. I can sell this. I can scale here. Let's just watch it. This is trading order flow, trading the auction. Let's just see what it does. If you were in this trade, you'd be scaled here. You'd be either managing the trade, or if you were doing nothing, you get taken out here and you make a pizza or have a pizza. Now let's look again. Where do we come? Now, I don't remember in TraderLab if I was talking about this trade or not. I can't remember this one. TraderLab, were we discussing this one in the chat? Here, let me get this in here. 835. I believe this is a variable high volume node right up at the open around 52.25. It might be wrong because of my data. I'm going to mark it, but I can't say this is a good level. I just can't say it because my data kind of gets a little weird at times, as you know. By the way, Bookmap has made some substantial improvements in its interface. It's always doing that, and there's a lot of things you can be doing here. So we come up here. What do we see that we've seen so many times? We see the sweep, right? We see the sweep. What do we anticipate when we see the sweep? Reversal. So now we have a sweep, and now I'm looking for a trigger. I'm at a location. There's my trigger. This is TraderLab. Now I have a trigger. So I have sweep, I have absorption, I have selling icebergs, all of this. This is the global plus with the MBO package. This is the kind of stuff you see, and you don't see this with your candles or whatever else you're doing over there. For me, this is about edge. The more I can extract that my competition is not aware of, the more timely my execution and also my exits, if that's part of my plan. So right here, I'm looking for a reversal. Do I have it here? No. Trigger. Now I have my sellers took control. These guys are under the bus. Where's my test? It's right there. Right there. And there's the high volume right there. This is where I sell. My stop is up here. And if I don't push the plunger here, sure, I'm going to get in over here. My stop's still going to be up here. Does it fit? And where am I going? South of the border. Why? Because that's my trade plan. Where do I scale here? Well, I got the VWAP in the mid. So here's what you're going to be doing. If you get short here or even here, your stop has to be above here. And you're looking to scale, get risk neutral. That's a distance from entry to get risk neutral, and your stop needs to be above here by a couple of ticks. There you are. And this is all TraderLab structured trading. Let me keep going. You guys have questions. How we doing? How you guys doing in YouTube? Conscious? Hope you're getting something out of this. This is the TraderLab. I mean, this is just the business of trading. Nothing fancy. It's actually not complicated. What it is it is random. What we think of as complicated is the random nature and uncertainty of the next rotation in the market. That keeps us paralyzed with fear. By the way, that's normal. So don't, it's not about your willpower. You cannot overcome your primal wiring. Notice the iceberg's 900. So this is why this is a short. Here's your test. So all these are shorts. So you got short here, bang, you'd be risk neutral. Your stop's up here. Comes back and tests, notice where these levels are. It's another short. You come back here, it's another short. Your stop is still up here. You're still going for what? Scale. Resistance. South. And I have a data hole somewhere in here. I can't remember where. Anyway, no longs yet. And for me, no longs today. Always very interesting. There are traders who trade both sides. I found, and for me, what used to happen to me is there's my data hole. What would happen to me is I would take a counter trend trade, and I'd be very proud of myself. I'd make my 5 or 6 points, 8, whatever it is. Meanwhile, there's 20, 30 points going the other way, and I'm out of position. And then emotionally, I'm like being left, a bride at the altar, And emotionally, I'm also, it creates noise. So all that impacts. And over time, I have found alignment with the market condition is where the opportunity lies. By the way, I see we're coming down. I'm going to have to drag this over. Remember the levels I showed you at the top of the stream? Where's the next level? It's right here, right there. 59, I don't know. I can't quite see what it is, but I think it's about 85, 86 or something like that, somewhere in there. And then 60. And not necessarily today, not ever, maybe never. But this is how the auction works. If you're in Trader Lab, you know this. Now, the reality of trading is you don't know what's going to happen. So let's take that off the table. But what you can learn in Trader Lab is what might happen, where it might happen, and then you're anticipating it, not predicting it. This is called the initial balance. The first hour is high or low. There's initial balance, high or low, and first hour. And in this condition, we're looking for it to take out the first hour's low because we're out of balance and we're directional. And the other part of that is there's over a 90% probability that we'll take this out. Are you guys with me? And by the way, don't forget, if you're finding this interesting, if you have always wanted to try out Bookmap, they really have I think it's 30% off the first, an annual subscription. Never seen it before. So I think that's pretty cool. 9:30 is when this locks in. Over 90% probability we take it out. Let's take a look here. There's your sweep, looking for a potential reversal. Now, I believe I discussed this one in Trader Lab. This is called a low volume node. And literally, you'll notice as we come up, there's low volume. What is a low volume node? Now, you can learn all this in Trader Lab, and I obviously I have very little time, and I have a data hole, so I really can't talk about this too much because I don't know if it's accurate. Guys, Trader Lab, when we came up here at this time, around 9:20-ish Central Time, was there an LVN, low volume node, sitting around here? You'll notice it's where my hole in the data is, so I can't tell. Go to bookmap.com deals, and it explains everything that's currently available right now. Trader Lab, Discord, is there an LVN here? Otherwise, I got to move on from this. I have a sweep. This sets up a potential short. Trader Lab. I guess there's no LVN there since I'm not hearing anything. There's a sweep here at around 9:23 Central Time here in Costa Rica. Am I still live in Discord? 1875, is that right, LVN? Okay, so this is accurate. Guys, let me explain what this is right here. When the market rotates, counter rotates, first of all, at the time, this is a high volume node. This is at the time, in this distribution, I'm getting more advanced, this is like the fair price. When we squeeze out these shorts, which if the market get lopsided, it will rotate. This is an outside edge of all of this volume. When I come out to the outside edge, there's typically stops out here. So I anticipate, and I believe I posted this in the Trader Lab, I do a lot of posting, to be observant of this. But also we can push through these because there's no volume here, so we can pop. And why do we pop? Because there's stops at outside edges. So what we are doing here is we're coming up. I see the sweep. I see the icebergs, 1,500 icebergs. This is where that MBO package, the stop and iceberg detector, comes in. You see sweeps, you see the stops. I see the exhaustion, remember, at the top of the stream. I see the sweep, and I see massive limit icebergs selling into the sweep of the book. That is a short structure for me in alignment with the low volume zone, and I have a trigger. You learn this in TraderLab. Now let's look. I'm going to mark this. So this is my triggering structure. It's up in here. I can be short here, stop up here, anywhere, wherever my plan tells me to get short. And 930 is what? Over 90%, probably a 97% probability-ish. Let me just see if I, almost 98% probability I'm going to take this level out after 9:30 Central Time. You have to, past performance, not indicative of future results. All these statistics and much more are available in TraderLab if you are so inclined. So this is the next target from that short up above, coming down here over almost a 98% probability. So, and then now it gets interesting again. This is where we had a conversation at TraderLab about something called the IBF. The IBF is another trade that I kind of fell over in my research many, many years ago. And what is confusing and also always worth discussion is where is it qualified and when is it not? Now, that is determined by the individual's trade plan, not by me or anyone else. However, I have found counter trend trading in a market that's out of balance and where the longs that are in this market are being thrown under the bus is not a prudent choice given the opportunity is on the short side. So how might you use this trade? Let's talk about it. The IBF is a mean reversion trade. So mean reversion means coming back to the high volume, which could be mid, VWAP, or VPOC, volume point of control, which is above us at the time. So it is mean reversion. However, if the trend is down, what do you do with this? Here's the answer. One, you use it as trade management and you get out of your short because now you're anticipating a squeeze. Two, you reverse and get long, trying to ride the counter rotation and the squeeze and have the skills to be able to flip from a long to a short. Or you skip the long, you cover your short, which is in alignment with the trend, the short, because we were in a downtrend, and then you are stalking a continuation short for the potential to continue lower. That is the question. Now let's try to get the answer. This was too high. This is your squeeze. This is your high volume level. This is your low volume area. What's above here? Stops. Are you going to sell here or are you going to be looking for a trigger? Well, let's see what happens. And where is it? Good luck with that. What is this? I got buy stops here. I come up here. I got my icebergs going off here. Let's see what else we got. I have my liquidity in the book here. And my teeth are chattering like everybody else. Micro high volume structure is here. It's a suspect, no clue. So I got micro structure there, not actionable, clueless. I got more volume here, which was resistance before. If I get into the stops above here and I don't get buying above, then I might have a trigger here. If I have a trigger here, then possibly we're going to go lower. And where am I trying to go? Back here for starters. Let's watch. Why? high volume. Let me just, a little hard here with this pointer. Here and there. So I'm going here from there. This is a structured trade. And, as they say, there's more. VPOC migration. Now, this is important. This says everything above us is too high. This is trading in fractals. This little structure here where there's high volume is a store. Think of this like your the market down the street from your home. You run there Saturday night for a pint of ice cream. You'll pay $8 a pint. And today that might be $6, but who knows. But you won't shop there regularly. So it's a small store, but there's still an auction. And the auction really is a consolidation. So when you guys think of these consolidations, another way to think about them is what it represents. Not that it's chop. It's what is it? Here's what it is. Too high, there's the sellers. Too low, passive buyers. Too high, passive sellers. Too low, passive buyers. Volume, break low. Uh-oh, too high. And the buyers that are here, right there, are under the bus now. The buyers here, thanks for playing. This is when they give you the coupon to the buffet in the casino. Buyers try here. Unsuccessful. Break low. They're under the bus. They're under the bus. And the buyers right here absorb the sellers. They got run over. This is a short. Stop is here, or wherever you choose to put it. And again, you have another short here. Now, right here, two possibilities. Let's look. Remember, 36. I'm sorry, not 36. Let me make sure I got the right level here. 90. I have 90 in here for some reason. This might be a stale level, guys. Right here, this drops. I'm looking for it to push off and continue or counter rotate. Let's see what it does. This is right here is a mean reversion setup. So what this is not a long. This suggests we're going higher. What do we have here? Another structured trade in the Trader Lab. It's called VWAP to VPOC. Stops are sitting here. This is a structured trade. You would be using this potentially for a continuation. This is called mean reversion. Not the long, the IBF. This is mean reversion. There's the mean. Now it's in alignment with the trend. Let's see. Short in the Trader Lab to there, going south of the border. And remember, 60 is our outside target. I don't know where we are, but I think we're kind of getting there. There you go, real time. Now I'm in a real time. So are you guys tracking? Now there's another trade here, which I would be remiss if I didn't discuss. But do you have questions? Please post them. This is what we do in the Trader Lab. 90 was a MCVHVN? Yes. Okay. So this, yeah, I see that. Thank you. This is a potential target. However, it's an area to observe. The actual target that we're looking for is this one. So there have been no longs for me. Not saying you guys couldn't be tearing it up on the long side, but the thing I stress the most in what I do and share is understanding the context of the market and being in alignment with it. And there's always going to be a debate about context because there is no right answer to it. There are traders that are going to be trading at a very short time frame. What many retail traders fantasize is that if you're very active, there's more opportunity and more profit. The reality of this business is you want to get paid when you put risk on. You get paid when you get the range of the rotation. The other thing is that what I found because I used to be a high volume trader, 100 trades a day kind of thing, that the risk stays pretty constant. And when you're going for shorter rotations, you haven't really gotten an advantage, because the more trades you take, the probabilities don't increase. They actually go down, that you're going to cover that risk. So if you trade less for larger rotations, you're then going to get paid, even though you absolutely will take stops along the way. Remember, every business has costs of production and overhead. So I prefer that when I pay bills, that I'm actually getting a net yield for that. Is that logical for you? The reality of trading is very different, at least what I found for myself, than what I actually imagined it to be. Because we have nothing, we can't relate trading to anything else in our lives. So what we try to do, got to make an adjustment there. What we try to do is say, well, play a video game. Well, this is maybe a video game. I mean, what is it? How about it's a business of probabilities and statistics? Something is a little too sensitive here. I've got to, let's see if this will make it a little cleaner. So we're in real time now. Let's narrate. So right here we have micro high volume structure. Think of these are auctions. Something, again, a little funky here. I'm in Costa Rica, so don't forget, if I drop out, it might be 4 or 5 minutes, and I'll come back. Chewy is asking me about using TraderMap Lite versus the primary. Here, let me show you the difference. You see this? This is a bracketing algo. And for me, it is noise and distraction. You see how it brackets? Using the TraderMap Lite, we take that out so I can see the actual liquidity in the book and not have the heat map distorted by that algo. So, and this is available. This is a terrific tool. So, and you can trade from this over to here, cross trade. You can trade from this if you want to micros. You could do all kinds of great stuff here. I mean, Bookmap is really always on it as far as development. And, when that algo showed up, we talked about it, and it was like, okay, we got to figure it out. We need a solution. Well, there you have it. So if you're trading NQ or ES, there's this called TraderMap Lite. These are preset configurations. If you're trading all other markets, there's also regular TraderMap Pro. You can customize it to every market, including this one. So that's what it does. It's a great tool. Yeah, you're welcome. How are we doing in YouTube? Guys, if you're finding this interesting, 2 things. Number 1, please give a like. Shows that you're receiving value from the stream. Encourages me to keep doing it. Come visit the Trader Lab. It's a group of like-minded traders who've come together to leverage their collective experience. Our senior trader has over 50 years trading. Me, 45, both professionally and otherwise. Watch this here and a counter rotation down. Let's just see what it does. But the thing about this is we can also continue up. So we'll just watch this behavior, okay? Outside edge is up here. And we have our outside target. Don't forget, not a trade recommendation. This is where we've been trying to go all day. So I've had no longs, only shorts. And I'm leaving it at that. Let me just see. That's my... I'm just checking some levels here that seem a little strange here. 93. Actually, these are correct. Just I've got the range compressed here, so. So right now, we've got a buy sweep here, and that can often mean a counter rotation. There's your counter rotation. It doesn't mean get short unless you're in a low, you have a structured trade. The fact we can see order flow phenomena doesn't mean it's a mechanical trade. What it means is when I see this, I anticipate that. If it's at a location where I have a trade, then it might become actionable. Let's watch this here. Let's just watch it together. See what we see. There's a link in the bottom of YouTube, by the way, if you're interested in Trader Lab. It is really, I think, unlike any other community because it's not, here's the thing about it. It's going to cause you to have to work and learn. It's not a trade calling room. It is a trade discussion environment and a sharing and leverage of the trader's experiences there. You can bring your methodology. If you're not profitable, bring it. If you are profitable, bring it. Doesn't matter. Everybody can get better. Everybody can improve. And there's another thing. When you're in a random environment, you're going to have winning trades. And our nature is to think we're on the track. We just have to work harder. I thought that for years because I would have strings of winners and then I'd say, well, this is good. I just got to work at it harder, make it better. Well, ultimately, I woke up with something and I realized that it was a fantasy and I was chasing an illusion. It was Trader Groundhog Day. I'm getting a latency issues here, and that is internet based here in Costa Rica. You know, sometimes if it gets humid, internet gets slow, so I'm having some data issues here. And remember, if I drop out, it could be 4 to 5 minutes. Let's watch the behavior here. Now we might see a counter rotation. Let's just see if we see it here. Not a trade recommendation. Yeah, things are getting a little weird over here. This is stop. This is a sweep, and we have selling icebergs probably on the other side. Let's see. Yes, up in here, and then we would anticipate a potential counter rotation. Let's just see if we get it. It's not a structured trade because it's sitting out in the middle of nowhere, but we want to observe order flow phenomena. And none of these things have to happen. You know, but when I see this, I understand what creates it. Now I see liquidity coming in the book. It's like pressure. Think of it like a hand. Now, this is algorithmic. You can see as this ticks, this ticks. So this is an algo. But we want to see what's happening. Now, I can make this more sensitive, and I can see with the algo on the other side. Are they pulling from here and pushing from here, or what? Or is it just bracketing? There's more to this and more nuance. And more, you can go further. I'm trying to keep this with a minimum of moving parts so you can kind of see how you could build a business of trading and what you might be able to learn in Trader Lab that might differentiate your outcome from most other retail traders. Most retail traders come into this business with a fantasy of what it is. And then, I mean, if I was to open YouTube, you know, I was out, I think it was over the last weekend, or maybe even yesterday or something. Every once in a while, you know, I look at YouTube and what's out there. And the list was, you know, the only indicator you need. How I made, you know, X 1,000% on $300. You know, this and that and this, and it was just ridiculous. Yet, what is that? It's appealing to our desire, right? And I've always say, you know, snake oil has been around as long as there's been snakes, and we're all susceptible to it because we just want to learn how to be profitable and to, you know, our dream, and we chase our dream, but we might be chasing a fantasy and an illusion, and is not at all related to what it takes to succeed in the business. And unfortunately, most retail traders run out of time and dollars before they ever get an inclination of what the reality of the business is. That's why Trader Lab exists, to help retail traders redefine and retool to develop an understanding of market mechanic. Why does the market go up? Why are we going down today? If you're in Trader Lab, you understand that. if you're in Trader Lab, you also understand the structure and you understand the targeting. Why is this a target in Trader Lab? Why was this a target yesterday in Trader Lab? Why do we know there are sell stops under these 2 days? So when we open lower and gap, that these guys are under the bus, these guys are under the bus, and this is the outside edge. And this is the highest volume here, which is our retail price in an intermediate time frame. So I'm shorts only today, and I think it's been a pretty nice day. Happy New Year to the Trader Lab. And if I get under here, my next price is here. If this, get under here, then that. If not, I can rotate back inside. Until it breaks, it's not broke. So that means, according to a trade plan, if it's yours and you vetted it, that it's shorts only. Until we violate structure, then you cover your short and you go to park and you get in the Barca Lounger until another trade comes that you've vetted, and then you're just like the casinos. You're only playing games that have a statistical edge, no matter the outcome of any random interaction with the gamblers. Where's our stops? Here. Where's the next stop on the hit parade? If we can clear this low volume outside edge. There. But we'll see. What do you guys think of this? Give a thumb up on YouTube. If you have questions, please post them. There's a link in the bottom of YouTube. If you want to visit Trader Lab, there is no cost. You do need to confirm your Discord email and username, and also take advantage. There's a free digital version of Bookmap you can download. But I would suggest that if you're inclined and you've been following this stream or you've been wanting a high-tier order flow tool, currently there is a sale going on. You can get I think it's a 30% discount off the annual subscription. Pretty amazing. And that goes to January 2nd. And also the MBO bundle, which is the iceberg stops and the other high tier tools. That one is 50% off the first month, and that ends December 31st. You can go to bookmap.com deals if you're inclined, and you can find out all about that. So notice where we're going. Now, we are looking for potential counter rotation here, but the trend is down. So what do we do with this? Well, for me, I'm only taking shorts. And if I wasn't streaming, I'd be very busy. But it's already been a very interesting morning for me, so I have no problem with any of this. Let's watch. And remember where our target is, not a recommendation. This. All these are on the chart before we ever get here. This is what understanding how the market works. Now, how the market works and what we do about it, of course, we're in a random environment. What is so difficult for us is because of our wiring as human beings and our emotional attachment to outcomes and our fear. Yes, fear is because we're operating in an environment that every moment is unique and random and uncertain. So the problem that creates in us is fight and flight, fear, hesitation, and all those other elements that they don't experience in the casino. The dealers just deal the cards in the casino, and they're impartial because they only deal the cards in the games that have an edge. The only way they extract their edge is by dealing the cards, even though the cards are random and how gamblers play the cards is random. I hear the announcement for the rodeos going by. Remember, they don't use rodeo clowns down here in Costa Rica. They just have volunteers. So if you always wanted to be a rodeo clown, there are openings. Questions? How we doing, guys? I would appreciate a thumb up, give a like. I do like to be liked. That lets me know that you're getting something out of this. By the way, if you're interested in taking advantage of these special opportunities to subscribe to Bookmap, get a substantial discount. Just go to bookmap.com deals. Read all about it. If you already took advantage of the Black Friday opportunity, there's no issue with that. You can extend. You can really kind of stack these things if you already have one, and even get more benefits. So for me, the only thing I was asking Bookmap was why didn't you do this back in 2015 when I got Bookmap? And I can tell you, even then, it's the state-of-the-art tool, and it's continually being developers. Santa's Workshop where they have the elves. I kind of visualize a bunch of elves programmers, and these guys are just amazing. You come up with an idea, you throw it around, they'll create betas and do things, and we've done a bunch of that over the years together. So this is how things get created, and then they get improved. So it's quite a team, and the product, as you can see, just keeps getting better and better, and I anticipate that's never going to stop because it's cutting edge. So in a competitive environment like trading, to me, it doesn't take much to cover the cost of something like this. A couple ticks here, a couple ticks there. Takes care of itself. Every business has cost of production and overhead. We pay the other gamblers, just like the casinos do, and then it's about edge. If I can get more edge, there's nothing to think about. So, again, just me. I never could read the dome. Of course, when I started trading, we didn't have a dome. We didn't have computers. We didn't have an internet. We had nothing. You bought a book. And I can tell you, I didn't learn how to trade out of a book. I spent a lot of years running around, waking up with Trader Groundhog Day, which is basically doing derivatives of a defective process, thinking because I had random winning trades that I just had to make it better. I did a webinar on that called Trader Groundhog Day. It's in the library of webinars. You're all welcome to visit the Trader Lab. Use the link in the bottom of YouTube if you're inclined. And I do participate very actively in Trader Lab chat during the day. Tons of stuff. In fact, let me show you what this might look like. If you haven't seen this, all kinds of stuff. Charts. There's my posting. It's all over the place. Questions, traders talking about their challenges. There's me again. Charts. This is what Trader Lab is. Very active community. I'm active, of course. Discussion, different perspectives on things, leverage. And the idea of the Trader Lab is to leverage our collective experience. Some traders go long, some traders go short, some go, what's going on? Why did you do this or that? And then different traders are going to, we're talking about mean reversion. A lot of kind of things going on here. Anyway, that's a Trader Lab community, and you're all invited, of course. But there's a lot happening here. Is it resistance? Where's your location? There's humor going on. Weeping and gnashing of teeth collectively at times when we all get stopped out on an idea or a structured trade. It's just the way it is. If you can't take stops or losses, you're in the wrong business. You might have forgotten that it's not about being right. It's about overhead and cost of production. Every business pays bills. And our bills in this business are paying the participants on the other side. Casinos do. Just got to remember that, it's all the same. Are you guys tracking? Do I use GEX? I'm not sure what GEX is. Are you talking gamma levels? Adil, is that what you're asking about, gamma? I'm not sure the question. Clarify the question there so I know what you mean. GEX. I mean, market maker levers, gamma levers, all that kind of stuff. So here we had absorption, low of the day, no clue. This is a micro high volume structure. Let's look at what it says. This says too low, microstructure right there. If you break above here, let me take you down into micro now. I'm going to just take you down to another level of understanding. And again, these are not actionable. This is what I do since I don't use any gamma. Yeah, no, I don't. I have found, and this is just my own thing. I'm not saying everybody should use what creates a statistical edge. I have removed everything from my trading that is random. So, because I know the outcome of any trade is random anyway, when I put other inputs into the mix, I'm not necessarily creating clarity. I'm creating conflict. What do I do if I have a target down at 60, let's just say, and I want to trade to 60, but I have gamma levels all the way down, which I will have. Which one do I pick? Which one is the right one? Everything works in hindsight. So I'm just going to say, been there, done that, don't do it. I don't. I'm not saying anybody should or shouldn't do anything. You got to find what speaks to you. Back in the day, when I built trading systems, it was really was better because I was looking for certainty. And it's no different than Fibonacci numbers for me or Elliott wave or any of the stuff that we're trying to look at projecting out. And we're looking for predictability. And anything that gives us a comfort of being able to predict an outcome is something we gravitate towards because of our primal wiring to avoid risk. And I'm only talking about me. I don't make a judgment what anybody does. I found that the more I look for certainty, the more I created obstacles to clear thinking because I introduced more randomness in a random environment. So I jettisoned everything. I find that for me, simple allows for timely decision making. If I have conflict, then I'm going to thrash. And all of a sudden, I've got conflicting inputs. That, for me, obscures what's right in front of me. It's not some level on a chart. Doesn't matter what kind it is, whether it's a fib level or market maker level. It's what's going on right here. Right here, I can look at this, and it doesn't matter what else is going on. I look at this, and I look at it in relation to volume, which is auction-based, based on participant behavior. I have all the information I need to make a decision, put on a trade, and take a stop or get a scale and go on. So that's my answer on it. So yeah, I've looked at it, and I also know other traders that use it, and but it's all a matter of how all these pieces fit together and what creates an edge. The only way you know what creates an edge is keeping records and statistics, not things that appear consistent that are actually just random. The only way you can extract that is by keeping very detailed records and see over 50 or 100 trades using gamma versus no gamma. What does that do for you? And which one of those processes extracts a more meaningful edge? That's the answer. That is the only answer that counts in this business. Yeah, Ed Hill, no problem. So let's get back here. So we have absorption here. We have microstructure here. We had this, which sets up a short if it's part of your plan. I'm always going to say that because one person's trade is somebody else's get a cup of coffee. Microstructure. Now, this is not a long, but that is a short if it's in your plan. So the way I operate is I'd be this is just me again, short, and then I can manage this trade based on microstructures. Let's look at microstructure for a moment. Here, let's just take a look at this. Something to think about. Now, what I share here in the stream are ideas of things you might develop for yourself. What happened here? I've got my sweep here. I've got my high volume structure. Watch where it is. There. I break low. Here, let's just throw this in here. I'm just going to throw you little ideas in here so you can kind of see some things. See if this doesn't make sense to you. What is this? Sellers are here. Buyers are here. Chop, chop, consolidation. Sweep here, which suggests the possibility of a reversal. So I have the sweep. I have the consolidation. Sellers, buyers, break low, trigger. This is a short. Stop could be there or there. Let's watch. This is a short. Micro high volume there. Break low, resistance. Break low, resistance. Break low right here. Outside edge, trigger, resistance. These are trade management opportunities if you're so inclined. High volume is there. Break low. Resistance. High volume is here. Break low. Resistance. High volume is here. Break high. Resistance. Resistance. Break high. Support. Break high. Support. Break high. Support. See it? Where's resistance? Resistance. Where's support? Support. Resistance. Break low. High volume. This is right here, your sandbox. Now let's see what it does. No idea. Let's just see what it does. See? Support. Where's resistance? Here. See? So the idea of this is, again, you have to know what you will do before it gets there. The whole idea of trading is not making it up as you go. You already know. All the work is done outside of trading hours. You just already know what you will do. You have to know what you will do because you don't know what the participants are going to do. That means you have what's called anchored inputs. This is what we do in Trader Lab. It's about trade plan. It's about showing up, knowing what you will do when the trade shows up. And trade management is another piece of it. And you already know what you will do. If you're trailing behind it at some level that you have vetted and it takes you out, the trade's done. Doesn't matter. You just, okay, next trade. This is Trader Lab. Are you guys tracking? GA, adding to positions. That's a little more advanced, and I can't cover it here in the stream. I've only got a few more minutes, but all of this is available and discussed regularly in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. You could use the link in the bottom of YouTube. There's no cost, and you could download 60 PDFs of structured trades. I have them in there, and I've also done live webinars or streams that are in the library that are up to 5 hours long of real-time narration with ads and scaling in and out and all of that. Notice this is our target. Now, again, if I get under here, I've got this, and there's stops here. So for me, and it doesn't mean we're going to go in. I don't know where the low of the day is. It's not my job. See, my job is to just keep trading in alignment with the trend until the trend changes or some structure gets violated. Then I'm still going to be looking for potentially a test of this low, if not today, tomorrow. And stops, remember, stops are here, and 60 is a potential target. Now, it's not a recommendation because when I say potential, that's all you got in this business. So potential, right? So, the ES is down 100 points. We've really kind of stretched it out, if you know what I'm saying. So it's not unreasonable for shorts now to get squeezed. Remember, the market goes up, which is what we did the past couple of days, to go down, and then the market goes down to go up. both sides are always going to get thrown under the bus. When it's like a rubber band. If the market went up and it got stretched too high, it's going to take the longs out, and then it's going to go the opposite direction and get stretched too low. And then the shorts that are in the market become the buyers, their stops. Does that make sense? This is part of the rotational nature of the market. And again, all this is about understanding market mechanics. And you can get this in Trader Lab. And you could use the link if you're in YouTube, check it out. Download the 60 PDFs. You'll have access to the Trader Lab library of webinars. Plus, there's a playlist I have in there that's available on bookmap.com. It's over 600 of these streams that you might find interesting. But I think the primary ones are in the library. I think that there's so much information here. But one thing about what I do, if the market is random, if we can accept that we can't predict the next anything, just like the casinos can't. Remember, we are overlaying trading on a successful business model, which is gaming. If we use a successful business model, then we're not trying to reinvent a wheel or even make a wheel. We want to run in a proven track. So that's the basis of this. Then what we do is we take this business and we use a proven business structure. Now, does that give us a better chance of creating consistency and sustainability versus thinking we have to invent everything and then we're only working on a fantasy of what we think the business is versus maybe what it really is? If you want to discover that or get the answers, and you might not get your answer, come to Trader Lab. If you're interested in taking advantage of the current sales at Bookmap, go to bookmap.com. You can save 30% on a annual subscription to Global Plus. That's the high tier Bookmap subscription, and that only runs through January 2nd. And then the discount for the MBO bundle, 50% off the first month, ends December 31st. I do think those are pretty cool. And you ought to be thinking about that if you want to try this. Also, if you want to come to the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, you need to confirm your email. We make sure you're not spam in order to keep the quality of the community and everybody's sanity, by keeping garbage out. So you would need to do that. But I think you will find Trader Lab is unique, and there is no cost. So, resistance, moving towards an outside edge. It's not a short. Let's see if we can watch the behavior. Please give a thumb up if you're visiting in YouTube. Click the link down there. If you want to visit Trader Lab, I'd look forward to meeting you guys in Trader Lab. Remember, these streams are available exclusively to Bookmap Discord Trader Lab participants for screenshots, to reverse engineer, take the structured trades that we have in the Trader Lab, and you build out a trade library. It is a conditional process that goes something like this. If this, then that. If not, then what? If the trend is down, if this, then that. Once we know the trend, then it's what structured trades align in the context. And then you have like a track that you run on, like a schematic almost, that qualifies the trades. Then when the trade shows up, you show up, you put your helmet on, and then you lean on your statistics to give you the confidence in a environment of complete uncertainty at every moment to put the trade on and accept the random outcome. Thanks for visiting Trader Lab today, guys. Hope you got something from it. Please leave the thumb up down there. Click the link in the bottom of YouTube. If you want to visit the Trader Lab community, there's no cost. And I look forward to meeting you guys in the Trader Lab. Thanks so much for visiting today. Have a super weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the Trader Lab. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate your interest in the Trader Lab. If you're in YouTube, use that link in the bottom of YouTube to visit the Trader Lab community. No cost. And also check out bookmap.com. If you're interested in the end of year deals, I've never seen anything as good as this for the annual subscription. If you've ever thought about it, it's a good time to check it out. Bookmap.com, deals, and then read the specifics, see if it makes sense for you. Take care, guys, and don't forget in YouTube to leave a thumb up. Much appreciate your visit and your interest.